Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp with a Limp, and I'm here with a special treat for you all a second time. This is Escape from Stalingrad Z, and this is actually the second time I'm filming a playthrough for it. And that's because the first video I did on it, I did bad. All right, I don't mind making a mistake here or there, and I did have a couple that were small, not that big of a deal, wall here, movement there. But for some reason, I got the numbers when it came to shooting backwards in my mind and just couldn't let it go. And it kept throwing me off. I remember when I was playing the game the first time, I just kept thinking to myself, something doesn't feel right about this. And it's because I was messing up the numbers when it came to killing the zombies. I don't know. It just, for some reason, it did it. My mind goofed, blanked, whatever it was. It just is what it is. But because I goofed it so badly, I'm actually refilming the series. Like I said, I don't mind leaving a mistake in, a couple small things here or there. But when I make a mistake to that level, then yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and refilm the series and have it done properly, because I can't have that level of a goof on my conscience, on my heart. So I got us all set back up. I'm picking up where I started my series the first time. And this is actually the second scenario I played through. And something I forgot to mention when I did the first series is my character does have a club because I picked it up in the first scenario. Okay, so I did get that, but I didn't get it on camera, so you guys didn't get to see that. Now, one of the things I do like about this is it comes with multiple different counters. I didn't get the minis for the game, but I do have two sets of counters. These round ones and then standees. I'm using the round ones because they show up so easily on camera. You guys can easily see what everything is. But one of the downsides to that is it's a little harder to keep track of what direction they're facing. I could put a mark on it or pick a side, but I know myself, with my brain injury, I know I would forget it. So I'm just ignoring the facing rule, just out of habit. I'm not charging the enemy for it. I'm not charging myself for it. Nothing. Just facing is not coming into play with my characters. It would be easier with the standees or minis because those are very easy to keep track of which way they're facing. And I guess I could say his head's forward, but I know I would forget it. And since I know I would forget it, I'm just not going to include it. So right off the bat, that's not in there. So very quickly to go over the game a second time, since some of you will be seeing this for the first time and some of you will be seeing this for the second time. This is a big booklet. This contains the entirety of the game. It is awesome. I love this. It's got a bunch of different pages you can flip through, and each one has a map or two maps. They can be double-sided, or not double-sided, but two pages. And that will have whatever your scenario is. Here on the left side, it will give all your special rules, where your characters start, where certain items are, where zombies are, where the exits are, all that good stuff. Like our items here are a knife and a Luger that I can pick up that does have some ammo. I have 3 zombies that start, and something I did forget to do was to leave them face down, right? So we don't know what they are because I don't have line of sight to them. But as I gain line of sight, I will flip them over and see what's there. But they're going to start moving towards me. Okay, I love this. I think this is awesome. This is the key aspect of the game. The fact that you have so many different maps, right? They don't have to worry about tiles. They don't have to worry about any of that stuff connecting or whatever. One of the things that was bad about the Resident Evil board game was the fact that all the tiles were generic. It didn't matter what elbow shape or square shape or whatever you used. It was just use that shape. So you didn't really feel like you were in an area, like any of the areas were special because it was all the same tiles, right? Because they're using this book, right? But these are pages that I'll show you at the end of the video. Thin pages of the book. They're a little thinner, not as durable, but they can print anything they want on there. So if they want to be inside a building, they can. If they want to be outside a building, they can. If they want to have a small hut, they want to have this, that, whatever they want, they can print right there on the page. Freaking awesome. I love that. It gives each area its own individualistic feel. All right, so that is our book. Okay. Besides that, we do have tokens and dice and all that, the usual accoutrement that you guys will see as we start playing. Other than that, we do have our player boards, which are recessed, which is awesome because that means the counters fit in here so nicely, and our health and our fatigue trackers. Health, obviously, if you take too many hits, you die. Fatigue, as you take more fatigue, certain things will cause fatigue. You'll start having negative modifiers applied to you, like less movement points allowed and things of that nature. And you can even be wounded if you get fatigued too much. So keep track of that. Our experience points, skills here on the left, you get certain bonuses. Like for most characters, their first skill that they get will give them a bonus to their preferred weapon. For Riser here that I'm starting with, he has the Car 98. Longer range weapon. He doesn't start with it. Remember, I still just got a club. But once I do have it and I gain that first skill level, then I'll get a bonus to using that weapon and it'll be easier to hit. And I'll want to roll high, not low. Roll high. You got to remember that. Rolling a 1 on this means that you lose ammo. Your weapons run out of ammo. You got to reload. If you don't have a reload bit of ammo in there, then you can't use your weapon anymore. You can use hand weapons, and definitely they don't break, which is nice. Our guy over here, Becker, he's going to come into play in the next scenario. That may be a separate video. That may be on this one, just depending on how fast this goes. But I went ahead and got out his player board. That way I would have him ready to go when I get started with him. But as you're looking at the boards here across the top, has the picture of the character, the places to place their weapons, which is ready and offhand. So you can use either one-handed, two one-handed, or one two-handed weapon. If you are using two one-handed weapons, there is a penalty, which is annotated here on the board. That is very nice. You have the ability to have supplies across the top, which is ammo, food, and health kits. And then gear, which is basically all the crap that you pick up as you go along. Extra weapons and the like can be stored there. And then grenades are printed on the board. You can have up to 3 grenades max. I do not have a grenade now, okay? Did not pick up a grenade yet at all. But if I do pick up a grenade, there's a counter you will place there. And the stats are right there on the board. Very nice. Love that. One of the little bonuses that they had on the Kickstarter was the fact that they included these little dice. And these little dice will keep track of things like modifiers or being stunned or things like that on your character. Or is stun in here? I don't think stun is on here. But no, is that stun? No, the stun is the black one. Locked up is the other one. But I do like these because it is easy to keep track of. So certain movements you'll take will apply a modifier, right? Make it harder for you to hit the enemy. And you can place the little die there next to your character to keep track of that. But like I said, there are little counters as well that you can use. So it's pretty much up to you. If you want to use dice, if you want to use counters. There are 3 D12s included, 2 white ones and a black one. The black one generally is going to be used for your zombies. Also, besides that, we do have a player aid. This is the little pack that all the stuff is kept in between your games. So like this book will go in here. The other pieces, your little player board, stuff like that. But if you open it up on the inside, you can see all your movement tables, your attack modifiers, line of sight, the sequence of play, the description of the weapons, which I should have paid more attention to because I just butchered that. Our zombie stats and things like our arcs of fire. Arcs of fire is going to be a little different for me because I am not worrying about their direction, but I don't anticipate it causing that much of an issue. And now that I think about it, I really think it was the attack modifiers and the way that they're done is what was throwing me off when I did my first video. So your modifiers here, like a stunned zombie, gives you a -3. And it's not a -3 to your roll. It's a -3 to the numbers that you have on your weapon. Okay, so it makes it easier to hit them. You still want to roll high, but in my mind, I think I twisted that around that, oh, I want to roll low because this is going to reduce my die, right? So if I roll a 7, that's going to reduce it down to a 4. No, it doesn't work that way. If it's a stunned zombie and I'm trying to attack it with my club here, I would be changing that down to a, what would that be? A 1 and a 5? Yeah, a 1 and a 5 instead of 4 and 8, right? You would reduce these numbers, not the number that you roll on your die. And that's where I got my confusion. And it's even here in the book, equal to or over, equal to or over. God, I was so stupid. That was on me. All right, one last thing before we get started. Down here at the bottom is our round track, and over here is our zombie pool. All right, so it will tell you what zombies you're going to have in your forces. You'll randomly draw some of those out to fill up the board. And then down here is where you keep track of the turns. Now, this can go on all the way and then restart back there at the beginning. So you're not going to necessarily run out of time. This is to keep track of what round you're on for spawning the zombies. So here it says S1, S2, S1, S2, S1. And that is referencing these spawn points, which coincidentally are my exit points. I have to either go that way or that way to get out of here. But when I hit the end of that round, zombies will spawn there. And then the next spawn, it'll spawn there and there and there, back and forth when you're ever on those rounds. So really easy. It keeps track of when we're going to spawn zombies. This first turn is a blank. So at the end of this first turn, no zombies are going to spawn. And the next turn, zombies will spawn. We do roll for initiative. Someone did put that on the comments to let me know, because I was a little confused on that as well when it came to the initiative. It wasn't 100% clear if you just roll for initiative once or if it was every turn. It is going to be every turn, so each round will roll for initiative. But zombies have a negative modifier applied to them, so they get a -4 to their initiative roll. It means more than likely you're going to go first, but not always. Occasionally, zombies are going to go first, so you have to kind of plan that out. All right, and again, we are bringing out our Grim Reaper dice tower to use for this game because it's just going to fit so thematically with this. All right, so let's roll for it. And yeah, they got a -2 and I got an 11. I'd say I won the initiative roll, so I get to activate first. All right, so since it's my turn to go first, I'm going to activate Riser. I have to, and I am going to move with him. When you decide to move with your characters, you got to pick. Do you want to be stationary, walk, or run? All right, and that affects your modifiers. When you are conducting attacks against the zombies, the faster you run, the harder it is to hit those zombies. So you have to keep that in mind. I am going to choose to run because I know none of the zombies can get to me on this first turn. So there's no reason for me not to run, and I am going to spend a good amount of movement points here. So we're going to go 1. I should say, walking, you get 4 movement points. Running, you get 8, but it takes a little bit more to do certain actions, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going diagonally does cost you more because really it's a point per orthogonal movement. So diagonals will cost 2. 6, and then I'm going to go 7, 8 to pick up the knife. The knife right there on the objective. I am going to pick that up and replace my club because I was originally thinking, I'm like, the club's a better weapon. It's got the better stats. It doesn't. The knife has better stats because I'm a moron in the way that I'm looking at this. Now, while we are talking about weapons, you see that there are different numbers. There are numbers at the top and the bottom. The top is hand-to-hand because you can use like a rifle or a pistol and bash a zombie with it. And then the lower numbers are your normal attack numbers. With a melee weapon like this knife, the numbers are going to be the same because it's all a melee attack. That first number is your stun number. That second number is your kill number. Same thing I said before, and I still don't understand how I screwed that up. Anyway, I'm going to keep hating on myself for that. When you roll, you want to meet or beat that number to cause that effect. So if you meet or beat that first number, then you stun the zombie. If you meet or beat that second number, then you will kill the zombie. And then if there are any modifiers, those will come into play at that point. If you do not attack on your turn, you can do like a covering attack. So that means that you're basically saving your attack to use against the zombies on their turn. So I can attack, but I don't have any ranged weapons, so it's not going to matter for us here. But because I ran, I will place a 4 modifier because I would add a 4 because I ran to any attack that I did, but I would be adding it to this number, not the die roll number. Again, that's where I got my confusion. All right, all zombies will activate once the players have finished their turn, or once whoever's got the initiative finishes their turn. And depending on the zombie is going to have different amounts of movements. Beta zombies, the regular zombies, are going to have 1 movement, 1 attack, 1 health. They're the base. They pretty much have 1 across the board. So this first one is going to move towards me. All the others are going to move towards me. Since he's moving there, I will get to flip him. He is a beta, which is not surprising because I don't want to flip that one yet. And this one goes down. This one has all betas except for 1 armored zombie. That's more than likely not going to come into play. We'll see. It depends if he's in the pool or not. He could be up here, but I'm going to try to get out very quickly. And you will find that these scenarios play very, very, very quickly, which is great because you can sit there and play 2 or 3 scenarios back to back and get done with them in an hour or 2. All right, so this takes care of our first round. We are done. So we will go to our second round. Nothing else we have to do at this point. I can pull off this modifier. We're going to do our initiative again. Now, my plan here is to do the same thing I did on the first round, first video, should I say. Come around here, kill this zombie, get the Luger, and then exit this way, because that's where I want to go, because this exit leads to Becker. I want Becker. Having that second player is better than getting the supplies that you get for this direction. At least in my opinion, I think it's better to have 2 characters. Now, here's the thing. You can have multiple characters, multiple individuals in your party, but in a scenario, unless it states otherwise, you will only have 2 individuals in the scenario. You can have like reserves that can give you like modifiers, but for the actual gameplay itself, you'll only usually have just those 2 characters on the board. All right, so let's roll, see for our initiative. And we tied, so we will roll again. And what do we get for the second roll? And we tied again, technically on the die, but they are getting their -4 modifier, which means I will go first again. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to the attack modifiers, they're different when it comes to covering versus when you're actually doing your normal stuff. And that is annotated here in your modifiers. So it says covering modifier and then like your normal modifiers. And that's because walking gets you a 2 modifier when you're covering, but no modifier when you're doing your actual attack. So what I'm going to do is go 1, 2, 3. I'm walking. I'm not running because I don't want any extra penalties here. And I'm going to do my attack. So something cool about this game is that you can attack and then continue your movement. So you can pause your movement to do something. You could walk up to here, fire a shot, and then continue walking if you have movement points left, or continue running, whatever it is that you're doing. And that can help you if you're stationary. If you don't move, you actually get a -2 modifier, so it makes it easier to hit the enemy. All right, so I am going to perform my attack against this beta. Again, looking at our knife stats, now that I'm doing it correctly, if I get a 4 or better, I am going to stun the zombie. I'll put a little stun marker on him, and he won't get to activate on the next go-round. He'll just lose his stun marker. And if I get a 7 or better, then I kill the zombie. So let's roll for it. What is that? A 9. Oh, I thought it was a 6 there for a second. 9. Yes. Yeah. Dead zombie. Woo, you're dead. All right. Good stuff. And we'll move one last further spot. So I've got to there. Let's see. Yeah. This zombie is definitely going to spawn, but it's going to take me at least 2 more turns to get out of here, because I'm going to go pick that up and then try to get out. But I should be able to do it before either of these zombies get to me, if I get lucky on my shot on the next turn. Don't lose out of ammo. So these guys will move down. That takes care of their activation. Now we will draw a zombie, which I can go ahead and flip over because he's in my direct line of sight. He does not activate. He just spawns. So you activate all the ones that are on the table, and then you spawn zombies. So you're not going to get overwhelmed per se. All right, we will move our counter over, and it should be all I gotta do right now. All right, let's roll for initiative. I need to keep winning initiative because I want to get out of here before the zombies get on to me. So, yay! I like that. Good. I got initiative. Okay. Yeah. Let's go. 1, 2, 3 to pick up. And do this. All right. So I put Zaluga into my main hand so I can shoot with it and have the ammo in my supplies. That will come into play if I roll a 1. If I roll a 1, that means it's running out of ammo. And if you don't spend an ammo counter, then you can't continue firing your weapon. So that is something to keep track of. All right, I've just picked it up. So now I've just got to shoot because I do have my attack. So now I will attack. And I need a 6 or better here or 9 or better. I don't think there's any modifiers. Nope, no modifiers on this one since I'm just walking. Ah, yes, critical. Oh, well, it's not critical, it's 12, but definitely got him on that one. You're dead. You're dead. You died. Yes, hello, you are dead. And I got 1 movement point left. I will go to there. This zombie is now visible. It is a beta. And it is zombies activations because I'm out of activation. So I'll move forward with 1 and he's going to go forward 1. And now we're into the next activation. And as long as actually, it doesn't matter. Even if I lose initiative here, they can only move forward by 1. So they can't get on to me anyway. So, and they got it. They got it. So they're going to move forward by 1. He's going to go forward by 1. The zombies are going to spawn 1 at S2, thankfully. And it goes to my activation, and I go 1, 2, out. And I have completed the scenario. We're going to end this one here, and I will film again the next scenario. So thankfully, I was able to succeed again, although this one isn't a hard scenario. It's just grab the weapons and leave. And I definitely want to grab the Luger, because that's Becker's primary weapon or his preferred weapon. If I get that and I give it to Becker when I activate him, then he will have his preferred weapon and Riser can pick up his preferred weapon on the next scenario, which is really awesome. And I will show you guys that scenario very quickly, just in case you're interested in seeing it. Should be, let's see, 2, a friend in need. That's the one you start with where I got the club. Yep. All right. A friend will bleed, not a friend in need. So this scenario, I will be starting Riser here. Becker's going to be here. There's going to be 3 zombies and Riser's preferred weapon is up here. So I am going to make a beeline to get that, but only after I rescue Becker. There are doors here. For the most part, that's not going to play a huge deal because I don't need to go in these small rooms. No zombies are going to spawn in those anyway, but I will have to go into these 2 rooms just to get the guys. But anyway, that is the first video. I do hope you guys have enjoyed a better, more correct playthrough of the game. And the game is really good. There is a second Kickstarter they've done, Project Rise, that I think they're still doing the late Kickstarter at this point that you guys can jump onto if you want to. It is a fun game and it doesn't cost a fortune. It is really cost effective. It does get expensive if you try to get all the minis. If you don't get the minis, if you're happy with just the counters, which I like the little round counters, they're perfectly fine for me. If you are good with just the counters, you can get it for like $50, I think. Somewhere around there, just depending. And that the amount of gameplay that you're getting for the cost that you're paying is not too much. Now, replay value, because the missions aren't going to change. It's printed. It is what it is. I'm sure some people will post some online that you can download and print off yourself to have like some user-made, fan-made ones. The publisher might even do that themselves. So you can kind of expand it that way. But once you've played through a mission a time or two, you're kind of going to understand how to play through it. So the replay value isn't very high, but the amount of gameplay that you get is very high. So you get enough game to make up for it. You're getting quantity, not over quality. Quality's good, but you're getting more quantity than you are getting replay value. But I mean, come on, the components are phenomenal. It's recessed boards, man. Recessed boards are just great. I love that because you slide around and you really have to knock them. Like I knocked the pieces loose, but that's because I was knocking them pretty hard. The pieces actually stay in there. Like the weapons, they're in there. I don't have to worry about these counters popping out when it comes to playing it. Just put them on there. That is nice. It is a nice quality of life that you have there with it. Anyway, I will go ahead and cut this video here. Stay tuned. I will play through A Friend Will Bleed again, so you guys can see that one, since we do need to go through it for my own playthrough for when I'm not filming this thing, because I do enjoy the game. I want to do it and play it the right way instead of reversing the die rolls. God, what was I thinking? All right, you guys take care. I will catch you in the next one.